Thank you. Sorry about that. I forgot to unmute myself. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today's hobby live stream. Let's try this one more time. Yo. Hello. Can you hear me now? I unmuted myself. You should be able to hear me now. I know there's a delay. I apologize. Are we good now? Also, hello to Chris and Havman and Gavin and DB and David. Hello. Oh. Has it not caught up yet? Can you hear me now? I'm gonna wait until you start hearing me talk. And somebody says, cool, we've heard you. Sorry about that, guys. Yay, sound! Woohoo! Alright, okay, so the first thing I need to do is we're gonna be painting up some Germans today. Obviously, if you saw the thumbnail, you're probably like, sick, cool. However, I struggled and I broke it. So I'm gonna fix that right now. Before we get started, woe is me. It'll be fine though. I went with you might be going, wow, why did you go with a dark green for these German Panzers? Well, the reason is I was looking on both their cards, like the little stat cards. That's the word I was looking for. Sorry, my brain just completely stopped working for a moment. The stat cards that came with the game, and they actually have a interesting camo pattern that leans towards a khaki, a dark green, and brown color tone. Therefore, I decided we were going to use those colors on our tanks. Originally, let me tell you a small story real fast. You can't really see evidence of it now, thank God. But I'm just gonna set that one. Does not want to glue in place. Okay, zap-a-gap it is. As I knock it over. I'll tell you my story in a second. Let me just get this sealed. And then we will deal with this. Okay, that might be a little too much glue, Angela. Okay. Don't get stuck to yourself. You little bitch. You little bitch. Sorry, I had to channel Anna J for a moment. Okay, it's fixed. I'm gonna set it off to the side. Let me tell you my story. I went to go prime these models. And I was like, oh, okay, they have this, like, sort of khaki... Like, basically, what it seems like, and those of you who are World War II fanatics, unlike myself, I just figured I'd turn on a little bit of another light for when I get starting on the painting. You might know that in late war, it seems like out of the factory, the Panzers were coming out in a... Like, what's the word I'm looking for? A tan color tone rather than the Panzer Gray that I was anticipating. And I do have a Panzer Gray color as a primer. But I was like, oh, well, I'll go with this khaki color tone. Well, the only thing that I had that was really khaki color that wasn't super, super pale like Wraithbone was this old bottle of Necrotic Flesh. Now, I remember when I bought this Necrotic Flesh bottle of primer, like a rattle can. It was back when I first started my 8th edition Death Guard. Okay, I remember because I bought it because I was like, oh, I'm gonna prime up. Then this is before contrast paint was out. I was gonna prime up all of my Poxwalkers in Necrotic Flesh to give me a nice base coat for doing some more traditional painting. That's what I thought at the time. Didn't end up doing that. Contrast came out, kind of held off, and didn't use that primer much. I used it like a smidge. I think I primed like 1 or 2 tanks up maybe with it, a couple models for my Death Guard, but that was it. I have not touched that primer since. I shook it a lot because I could tell it had separated a ton the minute I picked it up, but turns out the nozzle had clogged and I hadn't realized that. So I started to prime these beautiful little tanks and thankfully I recovered it, but I started to prime these and they just speckled. It was awful. So then I do the brilliant thing. I'm like, okay, it's still wet. I'm gonna dump them in water and scrub them a little bit to try to salvage, like, what I fucked up, right? So, I did that. I threw some water on them. I thought I had dried them thoroughly enough before I had gone in to use my Tamiya green and actually prime them. Holy shit, I had not. What had happened is in all of the little goddamn wheel wells and these like little gaps in the track, water had fallen into it and just settled, and it was not drying. I ended up, so I primed it a little bit in the green, noticed some pooling immediately, was like, what the fuck is happening? So I recovered it, and thankfully I don't really think you can tell. There's like maybe a small amount on, like, yeah, you can kind of see around like the tires a little bit. You see there's a little bit of pooling where it got a little cakey, like right there especially. So you can kind of see where it happened, but I think I recovered it well enough, and we're gonna muddy the treads. So I think it'll be okay. I don't think we're really gonna notice it, but I was so upset because I thought I had dried it thoroughly enough, and it just hadn't. So I pulled out like my blow dryer, and I was like dabbing it with paper towel, and I was using like a little fine tip of a needle to like scrape some of the like bubble. Like basically what happened is the water had created like surface tension, the paint had pooled on top of it and created a bunch of these little like awkward bubbles that I could then pop, weirdly enough, and scrape off. And it actually, that alone is allowed me to feel a little bit better and actually feel like I could recover the mistake I had done. But oh my god, that was my morning of dealing with a shitty prime on my own, like, just detriment. And it just sucked. It just really sucked, but it's okay because we recovered it. Now I am going to work on giving these guys a little bit of a camo pattern, I think, because I was looking at the card art and they do a nice sort of camo color tone. I'm going to be hand priming that, or hand painting that on. Is that like a little thread? What is going on? There we go, got it. Nope, didn't get it. Get out of here, little fiber. Okay, you're not a little fiber, you're a large fiber. Get out of here, large fiber. Good lord, okay. It's probably a string from when I got the water on it. Anywho, we're gonna be hand painting on our camo. I also have a couple of the Germans themselves ready to go, which we're also gonna be working on. And actually, before I do anything else, there's a couple things I want to do on the Germans before we work on the tanks. Oh, I'm just gonna be using AK's diorama texture paints. I've been really, I might sneeze. Hold on. Oh my gosh. I need to sneeze. Sneeze. If I say it enough, maybe I'll just stop. I have like a tingle on my left nostril. Why? Ugh. Okay, I think it's gone. Okay. That's the plan. I want to get some texture paint down on these guys first, but I also need to do a little bit of cleanup on their Wraithbone because they're super tiny and I was really afraid of overpriming them. And so I went ahead and not. Also, I did see that a couple of you have complimented the lipstick and the eyeshadow. Thank you very much. You'll see more of this in tomorrow's video, actually. This is a remnant of me filming earlier. And actually, you'll see it a couple places if you follow me across multiple social media platforms. Because there's some other things that I used this makeup for earlier today. So thank you. I appreciate it. I'm sure you guys are going to enjoy what's to come. All right, we need to get some Wraithbone and just touch up some of their primer first. Once we're done with touching up the primer, we're going to go ahead and get some texture paint on them so that they can dry. And while we work on the tanks, which I have not thought about in super detail, other than I want to actually do some camo because I apparently hate myself. No, it's because I want to challenge myself. But I figured doing some camo might be fun. Let's get this pretty wet because we want to glaze it on and not have it overwhelm our details because, good lord, these guys have tiny, like the tiniest little details on them. But we do definitely want to enhance some of this Wraithbone because I did a decent job with my priming on them, but I probably could have done another coat, but I ran out of time. So I figured, screw it, I'll just hand prime it. As like a very light glaze to tidy anything else up. Make sure this color gets into all of those lovely folds on their outfits. Not that it's gonna be, you know, super obvious, but we're not gonna do too much work on them. Oh, Gavin, thank you for rejoining your membership. I very much appreciate it. Does it stick super well? I have not tried like using makeup specifically on as like a weathering tool. I have some of the Tamiya weathering powders and I'll probably play around with those a little bit too. But my main plan was just to like slap some AK texture paint on there because I've been really enjoying that stuff. A lot more than I anticipated actually. Normally I am pretty strongly in favor of or I like to use Citadel's texture paints. Like I do think they're pretty good. But honestly, the AK ones that I've been trying recently have just, I don't know, they've applied nicer. I don't know if it's because of the container that they're in, and it's just keeps the texture paint wetter, so it you know, blends better or something like that, or what's going on there. But yeah, I like it a lot. Seems pretty decent. Let's get the front of them. Yeah, there's a little bit of... I am excited for the Royal Rumble. It should be interesting. I feel like here's the thing. With the Royal Rumble this year, I unfortunately do feel like it's going to be a bit predictable. I don't know how many of you watch various wrestling news sites or YouTube channels, but it seems like the general consensus is that Bayley sounds like she might be winning the Women's Rumble, which I think is cool. We haven't seen Bayley do like a huge amount since the pandemic, which I think will be really cool to see her come back in and do some stuff. Because like I always liked Bayley, especially when she was back in NXT, and I did really enjoy her going heel and embracing like her just like slight goth tendencies. Like she went a little goth, not as much as say like Rhea did, because Rhea really embraced the like pleather and goth look with all the spikes, which I am absolutely not complaining about. Let me make that very clear. If Mammy would like spare a glance at me and invite me back to party with her, I would in an instant. She did. She winked at... She actually did. Like, if you guys want to be severely jealous, we went to... Chaos Cultist and I went to a live show. I don't remember if it was a pay-per-view or an NXT show.
We went to a live NXT show.
Was that what it was?
They were touring pre-COVID.
Yes. Okay, that's what it was. I was trying to remember when it happened.
And we had front row seats.
That's right.
I do think they actually recorded some TV. This was at that point when NXT was, like, recording like matches while they were on tour, but then so we're putting them together. And we were in the front row, and I was marking out for Rhea when she like came out, and she like looked straight at me and winked at me. So I'm basically the best, and I'm basically Dominic Mysterio. Yeah.
I mean, basically. I'm severely jealous. If Rhea had winked at me, I think I would have keeled over immediately in happiness. Because I think she is super cool and also extremely attractive. Yes. what was I saying? Oh, right, we were talking about the Rumble. But yeah, so Bayley seems like she is going to be winning the Women's Rumble. And again, I'm fine with that. I don't actually know what's going on in the women's division in WWE well enough to say that I can, like, be like, oh, I'd rather it actually be this person to win it, etc. And considering, I think Rhea has a championship right now, if I'm not mistaken. And again, I don't know what's going on in the women's division, so I apologize. But I think she already has a belt, so Bayley getting something and being able to challenge for that, I think would be cool. Love it. Wonderful. Oh gosh, I can only imagine that the front row seats to the Berlin show are going to be quite expensive. Thankfully, this was an NXT show that we went to, so while it was up there, it wasn't like 1,500 euros. It was a couple $100s, but it wasn't like that crazy. But like that would be so cool to be able to go to the Bash in Berlin in front row. I hope you're able to still go, Mercarion, and even if you're not front row. Like, even if you're in, like, some further back seats or something, I hope you still get to go. For the men's rumble, it really sounds like Gunther's gonna win. So that he can go and eventually fight Seth at Mania, seemingly. As long as, I guess, he's recovered well enough, which I certainly hope that he is. And then, because it does seem like Punk and Cody, with that absolutely just wonderful... it was an absolutely wonderful promo on Raw the other day. I'm not a big CM Punk fan, but I at least appreciate this storyline, because essentially what it came down to was CM Punk claimed to be the American Dream because he's, you know, he wasn't born into wrestling, he had to work his way into it. And then Cody was basically saying how he is essentially the CM Punk because he actually went and fucking did all the things CM Punk talked about wanting to do in his bloody pipe bomb and then just, you know, bailed on and never actually came back and did anything with it, etc. at the time where it would have been important, meaningful, and actually had an impact. And I thought that was brilliant because personally, I in fact do feel that way. I don't really, like, I get the power and the impact that the pipe bomb had for when it came out originally, but having not listened to it originally, not been into wrestling at the time, because for context, I got into pro wrestling as CM Punk was going out. Like, it was post pipe bomb, he was already out, and there was just drama about him getting... Yeah, it was WrestleMania 30, so I think it was, like, around the time where there was the drama about him getting fired on his wedding day or whatever. But, like, that is my extent with CM Punk up until his AEW, like, stint. So my opinion of him is not high, because I kind of looked at the pipe bomb and went, okay, yeah, you said you wanted to do that and, like, make things better for smaller wrestlers and, like, all of these things, and then you left and did nothing, and then had a pretty mediocre career in UFC, came back... Everything that happened with AEW, and I just don't care. So I thought it was a really good promo because it felt truthful. And this should have been the storyline that honestly happened in AEW if Punk and Cody had actually been there together. Although I don't think it would have been able to be told the same way because of the restrictions on what AEW could and could not use in regards to WWE's own history with the two men. Whereas at least in WWE, and the reason I think this is actually going to be probably like a really, really good storyline for both wrestlers, is they can actually use everything. Because it's all their content for the most part. Like, they can even still reference the AEW stuff without having to use it directly, because there's so much... Like, the pipe bomb is really the main thing that they, I think, need to pull from, specifically, and then Dusty, which is all tied up in WWE. So... I think it'll be very interesting. I'm looking forward to the Rumble, but I really just feel like it's going to be predictable, because I think what's going to end up happening is, like I said, Gunther's going to win the men's Rumble, go against Seth. We're going to see The Rock pair up against Roman for all that that's worth, solidifying Roman as the greatest WWE champion ever, because he has in fact beaten one of the greatest from the Attitude Era. He's beaten John Cena. He's beaten various legends, etc. And so, like, who cares? But it'll be what it is. And honestly, like, if The Rock's gonna come back, I guess that's the best way to do it and make it at least somewhat meaningful. But overall, I'm just looking forward to seeing some hopefully decent wrestling, and the Rumble's always entertaining, just seeing everybody's entrances and who actually gets thrown out by whom, where they may end up trying to start some, like, storylines amongst people within the Rumble context, which will be interesting to see. So, I don't know, it'll be good. I am kind of there with you, Chris. Like, I agree that the Bloodline has been severely overplayed, and I really feel like they should have concluded things with the Bloodline when it came to the Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, Roman, all of that. Like, if that had been the conclusion of the Bloodline, I would have been fine. Ecstatic, even, because I think it would have been a great ending to what that was. But man, WWE really likes to just set records, and my goodness. Oh, Gavin, thank you so much for gifting a membership to Mad Larkin. You're very much appreciated, sir. And welcome to the Hobby Night Legion, Mad. It's good to have you here. I hope you enjoy. Make sure to go check the community site because you can see some past behind-the-scenes content if you're interested. But otherwise, you'll see some future ones as they continue to come out. He's not going to lose his title because of The Rock. That's just not going to happen. The whole point, the whole reason WWE is even bothering to have the retired, while still in good shape, probably not wrestling shape, Rock come back to fight Roman Reigns is only so that he can lose to him. And if they do otherwise, I will be blown away. Like, legitimately, I will eat my words or something. I don't know. But, like, in my head, there is no other point to having that conflict except to have Roman dominate over him so that they can just... Oh, Brock Lesnar is incredibly boring. And also, I don't want to talk about him. Him or Vince, actually. Just throwing that out there right now. Let's not bring them into this. We can definitely talk about the Rumble still. We can totally talk about, like, Punk and all those other people. But, yeah, let's not. I like his dumb, over-the-top action family comedies. They're fun. It's when he gets super serious, honestly, that I'm like, Rock, I need you to be chill. I need you to lay off and just calm down, bud. When you're being too serious. I mean, it's partially because in my head, I can only ever picture him as a CG scorpion, but it's fine.
Man, you don't understand. That was his first acting opportunity outside WWE. Everything before that was kayfabe.
But it was a WWE show.
Scorpion King?
Yeah, didn't they produce it?
No.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so how dare you mock his physical beauty?
I was not. I was
Have you not noticed how over the years The Rock has upgraded his appearance over time, but the Scorpion King has remained forever like that, right?
It's true.
Have you never questioned why?
I have not.
Because
why?
that is actually what Dwayne Johnson looks like. And they have been upgrading him year over year with CG and the same technology they use to stealth the fucking CIA drones as birds. Look it up. It's the same thing. Truth is out there.
Holy shit. You heard it here, guys. You heard it here. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Accurate. Also, I actually love the Scorpion King. Both the actual good Scorpion King movie and then also The Mummy 2. And I legitimately find his CG absolutely hilarious in the best sort of way. It is brilliant and delightful, and I would have it as nothing else but that. The nostalgia is too strong. If they changed it, I'd be upset. Just making sure we're getting some of this color into all of the little cracks of his details. All those little recesses and folds without completely losing all of my detail, please, Angela. Thank you. Your little German face. So tiny. Such a tiny little face. Alright, I think that's looking pretty decent. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he was also, I thought the reason he was like even given permission to go even do it was because it was produced by them. But I could be wrong. I don't actually know. He was entirely CGI. Didn't they? I don't even think he was, like, there. I thought they just, like, took a photo of him and then used his likeness and then literally made him all CGI. I thought that's what, like, I had heard in a recent article or something, or not a recent article, a video or something that I had watched that, for some reason, talked about it. Maybe it was just somebody reviewing The Mummy Returns and then talked about it in that. Okay, here's the bigger question. Did they produce the first one? Like, was the OG Mummy? Not the OG, like, as in, like, the OOG. Because, you know, that was done in, what was it, like, the... When was that one? Was that, like, in the 40s or something? When was the first? I'll look it up. Where's my phone? Where's my phone? Did I get a... I did. I did get a thing up. Good, 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 Angela. You're doing your job. What am I looking up? I am looking up The Mummy. The first one. The Mummy. The greatest movie ever made. 1932 is when the original one came out. Excellent. Distributed by Universal Pictures. Alpha Films. Music by blah. Alright, it does not appear that The Mummy Returns, or that, well, actually, I don't know. I don't know. I'll leave it to you guys to look up. Oh, that's right! I forgot about the opening montage where he actually was human. You're right. I completely forgot about that. I completely forgot about that section. Probably because it is ultimately kind of pointless. I mean, it's not actually. I guess it sets up who he is. But, I mean, really, in comparison to everything, it is kind of pointless. It also, I think if you actually think about it, doesn't fully make sense. Because, like, I think he failed to do what he was supposed to, and then therefore got, like, turned into an immortal Scorpion King dude. And it's like, but he failed. Because he didn't actually win. Didn't he like get defeated? Am I questioning the movie from the 90s? Yes. Because I have that power. Maybe a little bit more paint there. Looking good, looking good. You guys are going to, I think, like tomorrow's tutorial quite a bit. Not only do we get to paint up some dark elves, which I'm very excited for, but I have a fun outfit. It's going to be great. Johnny, thank you for stopping by. Hope you have a great rest of your day at work. Don't work too hard. All right, let's get this last bit of a tidy up of our priming done. And then we can start actually putting some dirt on their ground to dry. You know what the other things that I really like about the AK stuff? I find that it is dried enough to be workable sooner. Let's get some awkward bubbles. Some awkward bubbles. Oh, he just ate a cursed scorpion? Is that what it was? It doesn't make sense. Like, and I thought this as a kid when I was watching it for the first time because, like, I was obsessed as a, like, preteen with those movies. Okay, like, obsessed. I wanted to be an Egyptologist. I was, like, learning hieroglyphics. I watched that movie, like, religiously multiple times in a row in the same night. Like, obsessed, okay? And it never made sense to me. I'm like, why is he getting immortal power? Why are all of these people getting cursed and becoming immortal and seemingly not actually suffering that much? And then the only problem that they seem to be having is that they have to be summoned later on to awaken. But like once they've awakened, then they're fine. And then they're just immortal creatures who have this like ungodly power. And if Rick O'Connell just wasn't around, they both would be fine. Like, really? I mean, if just Rick O'Connell just disappeared, maybe got it on with Evelyn, it'd be fine. And they would be able to go on their little monster happy ways, but they couldn't because Brendan Fraser is a badass and murdered them. And proved that he is the coolest and has the ultimate love, according to the Scorpion King. With his formerly Princess of Egypt reincarnated wife. Don't you all wish you had a reincarnated princess as a wife? Wouldn't that be great? What? I do. You're very sweet. You probably didn't hear him, chat, but he said that he did, and I was like, that's not true. But he's very sweet. Okay, the Germans are primed. I'm feeling confident about how they're looking. Let me pull out the dirt. The delightful dirt. You can't see it because I'm facing it the wrong way. There we go. Terrain, dark earth, diorama, paint. I like this stuff a lot. That's because, Chris, it is the best movie on the planet. It's not actually, but I feel very strongly about it because it is, again, I was obsessed. I watched the first movie so many times. It comes on and I can start immediately quoting it. And if I have watched it recently, then I can quote it without even being on, because I've seen it that many times. It's been a while. Like, I don't watch it religiously anymore because it's silly to do that, and I think I have it on, like, DVD, not even Blu-ray, so it would just be by terrible quality. But, oh my god, I love that movie. It's just so good. It's just so good. I need a brush to spread this paint around, and I don't want to use any of my good ones, so give me one moment, I gotta grab one. I have acquired the brush. Excuse me. For proper painting, let's clean this one. Alright, dirt. Undead women do have it going on, by the way, Paul. You're absolutely right. All right. See how easily it spreads? It's just so nice. Woo! Gosh, it looks so good. I actually don't know if I went and saw it in theaters when it came out. I think I saw the second and the third one, which doesn't actually exist and we don't talk about in theaters. But I don't know. I can't remember if I actually saw the first one in theaters because it came out in, what, 99? How old was I in 99? I was pretty young, actually, in 99. I'm not sure my parents would have let me. They were those kinds of parents that were like, is there, like, a modicum of violence in this? Then it's too much and we're not going to let her watch it until, like, older. And so I think I saw it... No, that was it the second one? I can't remember. I did see... I know I definitely saw the second one in theaters. I don't remember if I saw the first one. I would definitely go and watch it if there was like a place near me or something that did like had it playing on like a drive-in theater. Could you imagine how fucking cool that would be? I would be very excited. Okay, let's fantasy book a little bit, because I was enjoying the Rumble talk. And even though I do think we know exactly probably what's going to happen, because, you know, we've already sort of seen it predicted what's going to go on. If it was up to you guys, who would you want to see win both the men's and women's Rumbles this year? And or And or if you don't want to give me predictions of who you think would win, who do you think is going to be a surprise entrance in the Rumbles? You want to know, okay, I'm going to give you mine for the men. I haven't really thought about the women's quite as much, but for the men, I actually would love to see Matt Cardona come back. I would love to see him return and then do something ridiculous with Chelsea, because I feel like they could be the next annoying evil heel couple a la Maurice and Miz, but possibly even better because, like, they're just cattier, in my opinion, and I just think it would be delightful. So that, I think, would be really, really good. I don't know why I have this desire in WWE for, like, a just bitchy, like, stereotypical catty heel couple. I do. I just miss Stephanie and Triple H. I miss them being a power couple together, and it's sad. And so I want that again, and I want it to be Chelsea and because Chelsea's already doing that, like, I'm better than you, blah 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 sort of gimmick. And so I just think it would be great to have them both come in, and then, like, Cardona just is his hardcore self and just kills people. It'd be great. Because then they can back, like, basically he is the force to be reckoned with in their, we're gonna behave this way and there's nothing you can do about it because we're better than you, like, because we're this amazing, like, sexy couple who can just kick ass and is so good at wrestling, and just, like, I just want that. I don't know who I would want to see come in and, like, smack them down from that specifically. Dom and Rhea is who can do it, but I just think it'd be fun. I could see Becky definitely being a potential winner for the women's. I actually think of the, like, more predictable potential things to happen, the women's is the more potentially likely to not do that. Only because I feel like the men have, like, based on their recent promos and a couple other things, just... There's really no other thing that I can see happening unless they just, I don't know, 100% swerve us and give it to somebody completely unexpected. But whereas the women, I could definitely see, like, Becky feels like a potential person to get it. Although, didn't she get it recently? Like, within the last couple of years or something? Wasn't she? Or was that Money in the Bank? Was that what she got? Why are your legs being such a pain? Chris, no! No. Don't feel old. Don't feel old. It's okay. It's okay. This is a safe place and you don't have to feel your age. You know, I thought that mudding their bases was going to be a quick task, But it turns out, no. At least it stays quite wet for enough time to like to push it around, which is great. Again, I just really like this stuff. AK, if you want to sponsor me, that'd be great. I would take that. I've got a big terrain project coming. I could use the mud. Yes, yes. Texture. Dab texture in. Make it look like they've been stomping around. 'Tis a war, after all. Okay, let's get the Hans or something? I think it's the tank destroyer. Or the tank hunter. But now I can't remember what his name is. It was on the card when I was doing the build. There we go, I think. Oh, no, there's a little bit of unpainted ground right there. You know, maybe if I had been smart and actually like pre-prepped the dirt in maybe a brown color tone, this wouldn't be as big of a problem. But that would require forethought. And I don't do that much. I do, but not, I just didn't do it in this case. Okay, is that, of course it's your legs, bud. That's what she said. Also what she said. Dab, dab, dab. Dab, 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 dab the dirt. Dab, dab, dab. It's my dirt dabbing song. I hope you enjoyed. It's copyright. They are really small, Gavin. They are 15 millimeter. I don't know what scale that is. Let's look it up. Let's look up what scale 15 millimeter is. 15 millimeter is what scale of model? Will that work? I don't know. We're gonna find out. It did. Okay, so they are between 1 and 100 and 1 and 120 scale. Haha! Tiny boys. When did A Flames of War originally come out? I'm actually not super familiar with the history of the game. And also, please tell me, Chris, in what way is it making you feel like it's changed? Is it just like the quality of the sculpts? Is it the size? Is it the what is it? What has changed so much? Or are you talking about like you've looked into like the gameplay and you're like, whoa, it's so different? In which case, also tell me how it's changed, because that's kind of fascinating to me. Oh yeah, I know, right? No, Space Marines are chonkers compared to these boys. Hey, Alexandre, welcome. All right.
Hey, Angela, I have a footage issue I need to talk to you about.
Oh, okay. One moment. Alright, I am back. The bases didn't have the indented divots for the troops, and there wasn't any box sets other than tanks. Ah, that makes sense. You bought them in blisters. Okay, yeah, no, they've definitely streamlined making it easy to get into the game with starter sets. And that's one of the things that I really enjoyed about finding this particular starter set, because it is a combination of troop and tank. So it gave me a little bit of taste of both. Because there's another one that is specific to like the Germans and the Russians specifically, and one is all tanks and the other is all infantry. I'm terrified of the one that's all infantry because I don't know how many of these little dudes it is. But my gosh, there are so many. Alright, I think this base is finally good. I think all in between all of their legs is filled in. I'm not seeing any like super major gaps, and I think we're good. So we're gonna set him aside and we'll move on to the next one. Get a nice big amount of paste because we got a big open area here. We're just gonna spread it around. Alright, there, that's looking good. Ooh, Overlord Tweak, that sounds awesome. You're gonna make it entirely out of foam, the Hocus Pocus hut? That's so cool. I hope that you share it online so that I can take a look at it, because I would love to see that. I love the Hocus Pocus movie. I'm assuming your sister is a big fan since you're making that for her birthday. I have not watched the new one. I know they like did a sequel recently, like a couple years ago, and I have not brought myself to watch it, even though they do make a return of the original cast for the witches, which is really cool. Like seeing Bette Midler back is awesome in that regard. But I also am like, I don't know if I want to ruin like my fond memories of the original with this like sort of retelling. Like I don't think it's an actual retelling. Because like I said, I thought it was supposed to be a sequel, but I don't remember. Oh yeah, if you want to like, if you're going to be doing a big kind of build like that, absolutely, you'll probably want to start it soon. Especially to give yourself time to take breaks from it. I imagine a big build like that could be a little daunting. I have built the sister's house, but in Lego. You guys may have seen that on the channel. I did that as a couple live streams. No, I think I'm going to rim the edges in black to give it a little bit of a cleaner look. I don't tend to like mud the sides, but at the moment it's not completely out of the possibility. I don't remember what Chaos Cultist did on his. I might try to match it just to have a cohesive looking set. I think that would be kind of cool. But I don't think he went over the edge. I think he also rimmed it in black, so... It's looking good. Now we just have the tedious part of getting it between their legs without getting it all over their boots and up their pants too much because we haven't painted them yet. Alright, that's looking pretty decent. It is. This is the way. I completely agree. I mean, Halloween is the greatest holiday ever, so I understand. I have a feeling your sister and I would get along quite well. I also love Hocus Pocus and Halloween. Well, I hope she ends up loving it, because it sounds really cool. It always feels so weird, like, to be painting with dirt and just sort of, like, nudging things around. You know what I mean? Oftentimes people like to paint the miniatures first, especially if the miniatures are physically attached to the bases. Often just to avoid getting too much dirt or anything on them if they haven't already painted the models. But in this case, I really just wanted to get the mud dried. And I figured because they're so small, and I plan on using like browns and those kinds of color tones, I figured it would probably not matter too much.
Hey.
Yes.
You did not send me the voiceover file for the hair.
Ah, my apologies.
Probably the shortest one, I'm guessing.
That is probably what it is, and I thought that, I listened to that one. All right, give me 1 second.
I was gonna say, you can do it on stream. It's fine. Just put it into the box.
Yes. Let me grab some headphones real quick so I can find the correct one, and then yes, I will send that to you and put it in the box. I'm so sorry about that. Alright, let's find this file that I forgot to send the Chaos Cultist of talking about hair.
You've already got the black and the brown.
Yep. Alright, I have found it, and now I'm going to put it in a folder for him. there. I'm going to put it in there, and then we're going to make a new folder so that the one I missed. Create. Alright, and save it there, please, so that you can find it easily. Upload. It's doing it. Go us. Whoops. So sorry about that, Chaos Cultist. I thought I had grabbed everything.
Slim Jim, the popular meat snack,
yes,
that has been recently repartnering with the WWE,
uh-huh,
has pulled out of their official sponsorship of the WWE Royal Rumble.
Oh, I wonder why. We're not talking about it.
We can't talk about Slim Jims?
No, we can talk about Slim Jim, but we're not talking about he who must not be named. AKA Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And his horrible, horrible behavior. It sickens me, and that is all we're saying about it. Period. And it sucks that it's fucking affecting the business. Just when I felt like things were like, you know, getting better at WWE in regards to what they were doing and all of this stuff. Ugh. This dirt looks amazing though, guys. Look how beautiful this dirt is. Lovely. Okay. Let's move on to the next batch. We're getting faster. We're getting more confident at our dirt pushing around. Ooh, the cabin in the lake from the Evil Dead would be amazing. You know what would be also really cool? The cabin from, holy shit, is it called The Cabin? What is that, that Scooby-Doo murder film where they're in the house? The cabin, like...
Okay, wait.
I can't... Yeah.
Did you just ask me about the Scooby-Doo movie about where there's a murder in a house?
No. I mean, yes, but what I'm asking...
Would that not be Scooby-Doo and the Mystery of Skull Island?
No, it's not actually a Scooby-Doo movie. What I meant to say is that Scooby-Doo-like. Remember the... Is it Cabin in the Woods?
That is not Scooby-Doo-like. That is Buffy the Vampire Slayer-like.
It's Scooby-Doo-like. There is a weed-toking, like, mystery solver in there that basically saves the day. You can't tell me he's not Shaggy.
There is literally a self-insert character for Joss Whedon.
I know. I couldn't remember Joss Whedon's name, though.
Because the two guys in the lab represent him and the producer who wrote it.
Yes,
him and the writer.
Yeah. The ones who were betting on like the zombies, right?
Yeah, who are in charge of the program.
Yes. That would be a cool cabin to do because it's got the basement with all the cool like junk in there to summon all of the various monsters that they're holding in the gigantic contraption. Sorry, spoilers if you haven't seen it. I guess. But it's been out for years, so I guess I don't care. It'll be so long before you actually go and watch the movie from the point of this conversation that by that point you will have forgotten, and therefore it will not have mattered. Chaos Cultist is just like off in the distance wowing me. Wow. 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 Chris, I think it's probably best that you sold your WWE stock as well. Because I am genuinely kind of worried about the company. I do not provide official financial consultation, however, on stream, and do not take anything that I say as good advice, for I am definitely not a financial person or know what I'm talking about. I just have personal opinions and am expressing them. This base seems to have had the largest gaps in, like, where... I guess I didn't center them very well, because I have some sides that just have, like, humongo gaps.
I just built fine.
Oh, yeah, no, I am doing that. It's just that on the previous two that I've painted, I centered them more, and so the fill was not as tedious. And in this one, I'm, like, sitting there going, oh, I have these giant holes to fill, and it's not wanting to go in there. Get in there! That's what she said. Oh, well, Havman, I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. You are awesome. Oh, it was just the donation team. It's behind on the, I think,
yeah, the notifications take a little while.
So I see it before you guys see it.
So
yes.
Why is it that this week's video is like 2/3 longer than last week's video?
What? It's really?
Yeah.
Because I fucking talk too much?
But I mean, like, the trebuchet...
You talk too much!
You never shut up. We are not going to be referencing 1990s hip-hop.
I'm referencing Botchamania, thank you very much. Hello, Matthew.
Yes, but I'm afraid that we're going to get into turf war.
Oh,
with
shit.
all those, like, you know, hardcore East Coast, West Coast people in the chat, of course.
Yes, all these hardcore East Coast, West Coast people in chat.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, all you hardcore folks. Welcome to my stream. Anyways,
yeah,
you're saying...
I just finished putting together, like, the first cut of things, and I'm like, huh, this is, like, 15 to 16 minutes compared to, like, the trebuchet, which was only, like, 9.
Well, okay, for one, the trebuchet, when it came to, like, the peasants... We specifically did a lot of that on stream so that I could, like, glaze over it a bit more rather than going into as much detail, whereas I think I went into more detail. But, I mean, people aren't gonna mind. Like, I already told them, the makeup is part of it, so...
I know, I just was like, I just thought it was funny.
It is hilarious,
though.
though.
How you dragged this one out for reasons.
For reasons. For very not specific reasons. You'll know what I'm laughing about tomorrow. Although I might share a photo. I may not be able to. I'll have to look. I'll have to look with members a little bit earlier. And by early I mean like tonight. I will be posting for members on community later this evening the final picture of tomorrow's tutorial. Ladies, and I'm very happy with how they turned out. I know you guys have seen a little bit of what's been going on with them so far, but you'll be able to see the end result, and I think it is quite satisfying. I'm at least proud. Some of the best faces I think that I have painted. It is a great series, the Botchamania content. Matthew does a super, super good job. Alright. I have found that one of the tricks to getting this to spread a little bit more is to add a little bit moisture back into my brush. And then it's almost like it behaves kind of like paint. Go figure. I think it should be a good one. That's right, we have to behave. It is a family-friendly stream. I mean, I do mark my stuff as not safe for children. For a reason. Mostly because I'm talking about war games and, like, I don't know. Doesn't always seem appropriate. There's blood and murder and doom and gloom and horrors of war. War, it never changes. Quite literally. Clumpy dirt, clumpy dirt. Get in there. Got some nice textures with it. Oh, that is a big mound in the middle there, isn't there? Ooh. Let's see. Can we spread that around? Possibly. That looks good. And get in there to flatten that a little bit. Possibly. Kind of. I think I covered his boot a smidge, but you know what? It's fine. They're entrenched in mud. Which probably happened when they were fighting the Russians, right? Isn't I feel like I remember like things being pretty muddy in pictures that I've seen. Ooh, oh, except, okay, I just got mud on his gun. Like the barrel of his gun, and that just feels probably not the best. Let's get that off there. Clean it up a little bit, shall we? Hello, Hari, welcome to the stream, as well as Shaky Hands Models. Welcome. Hope you guys are both doing well. Wait, there's 6mm infantry and battletech? Do they even have faces? Like, do they actually have, like sculpted faces, or are they just sort of flat? Almost like mannequin looking things, because that just seems so tiny. I mean, although I guess that would be an appropriate scale based on the size of the mechs. There we go. Finally filled in that gap. Let's get that smudged up against his boot. And spread things around. Jerk. How dare you? Who ordered? Who approved of that gap? Definitely wasn't me, your commander. How do I feel like that looks? Oh, there's a... Sir, why are your feet so small? There we go. Defend the poor soldier. What do you mean about small feet? Really covered his boot. Get off. Oh wow, it really reactivates if you just get a little bit of water in there. Okay, good to know, good to know. Nice. Still have completely covered his boot, but he's kind of in an awkward position where I can't get to it. Ah, there's your shoe, bud. Okay. I get you. I see what I did. I was moving paint off the wrong thing. I know I'm off camera for a second. Give me a moment. I need to deal with the mud. Okay, I think that looks pretty focused. There we go. Pretty good. Pretty good, yes. Awesome. All right, and we're down to the last base that needs texture. Of the ones that I've primed. I have more. There's like 2 or so others. Or 3. I think there's 3 other bases that I need to do, but I haven't primed the miniatures yet because I was only able to get to 4 of them. Because I wanted to also get one of the tanks painted up because I wasn't sure how long this was going to take. Alright, got a big glob o' mud of my next base. Bam. Now this has been sitting out for a little while now. So I'm going to add a fair amount of water back into it to help myself spread it around. And then if I feel like it's gotten too watery, I will just add in more of the kind of slightly dried paint. And it'll probably just balance it out. I find that's often what it comes down to when painting, for those of you that maybe don't do it as often or feel like you are struggling or just not making progress. It is a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of just nudging stuff around and reapplying color where you think you need it. Show some of that in that way. Alright, it's looking pretty good so far. I just immediately grazed the gun again. Like a fool. Good. At least this time it was just the, probably the worst thing to get covered in mud, the ammunition. Howdy, Blue Streak Customs. Welcome. Hope you're doing well today. I am definitely ready to have a good weekend. I'm sure it'll be delightful. I've got a fun, spicy stream tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to, which will not be here on YouTube, obviously, because it's spicy. But you know where you guys can find that. And then, obviously, the Rumble's happening, so that should be fun. And then Sunday should be pretty chill. Moisture back into the brush. Kita, you're fine. My cat, when she meows, sounds so pathetic. Like, she just sounds so sad. Like, her life is so miserable. And it's really not. Okay? It's really not. She gets plenty of petting and loving, and she gets played with, and she gets plenty of food. She needs to calm down. She needs to just calm her little cat butt down. But she never does. She's like, no, I refuse. Meow. But in the most pitiful and kind of irritating way. Yeah, I'm talking about you. I think she just doesn't like it when I'm in the office and working. Like, legitimately. I do think that's actually part of the problem. She's like, how dare you not be paying attention to me? I've gotten so used to you giving me so much attention that it upsets me that you're not right now at all times when I demand it immediately. Fuck you. We need a little bit of extra mud to be able to maneuver around. Maybe not so dramatically, Angela. That was kind of awkward. There we go. That's looking pretty decent. I'm liking the texture that we're getting. And clean the brush off, I think. She very much does. rag. That kind of looks like people have been trampling all over it. That side is looking good. Let's go ahead and finish up this other side. I almost dropped it. That would have been bad. It probably would have been fine. It's not going to fall that far to the floor or to the table, but I would have been upset. Mostly because I definitely knocked a miniature completely onto the floor, shattering it into two halves on a poorly glued seam. But it was mildly traumatic. I don't think he's still down here anymore. I think I took him back upstairs to put him back in the case because I have since repaired the break, and it was actually a pretty easy fix, thankfully. But just to talk a little bit about how much of a klutz I am. So I was putting the trebuchet away actually in my case, and I put it next to, I don't know why I actually put it here, because now that I think about it, these are all 40k orcs. But I put it next to my my 40k orcs. I think because I just was like, oh yes, orcs fantasy, of course, and then put them next to it. Was that? Oh, it's the reflection. Okay, sorry. I was looking at myself to see if I was like where I was centered in the camera, and I just saw like a circular. You see the. No, it's over here. You see the round thing in my glasses against the wall there? It kind of disappears. I think that's a reflection of the door handle or something. I'm not really sure what that is, but it's reflecting something. But I thought it was something on my glasses at first. But it is not. Maybe it is. I do see some dots, actually. Maybe it is on my glasses. Maybe I got paint on it. That would absolutely be the case. If she wants to be recorded, she can come in here and like get on camera. It'll be fine. The problem is she doesn't. She just wants to scream at me in the hallway because she's hungry or she thinks she's starving. And oh, is that what she wanted? Was she wanting you to chase her? Okay. She's gone into this thing where I think she just wants to be chased. And I don't know why this is the thing she suddenly developed, but yeah, it's been strange. All right, there. That feels better. Hey, I do think it was a dot. Nope, I do think it's a reflection of some kind. Whatever. The point is I got distracted. I'm very easily distracted. I was telling you the story about how I dropped my orc though. So the thing that I dropped was my mega knob on the great white squig. And when I glued him together, and I remember this, like I remember it being slightly sort of awkwardly positioned, because what I think ended up happening, or at least based off of how it went with the repair, I did not actually sand the primer or mask off the section where he was meant to reconnect to his upper body, to his lower half. And so there was a ton of just Wraithbone primer under there. So I think when he fell, he wasn't secured already, and he wasn't sticking. And I used the Tamiya glue, so I think that's partially why it wasn't as strong of a bond, because I don't think the plastic was actually able to seal together. But this time around, I just went ahead and threw some Zap-A-Gap in there because I didn't want to try and sand things and accidentally grind away the weird uneven surface that it's meant to sit into. And the Zap-A-Gap just held it together fine. So it was a decently easy repair, but it was also like upsetting because it happened super late last night, and I was like, ugh, why me? All right, they are looking pretty good. Look at our first one, just to kind of show you how the texture paint's drying. It's not fully dry yet. You can still see a little bit of moisture in there, but we've got some really nice textures. Definitely looks like they've been trotting around. Maybe had a couple of, like, that almost looks like, kind of looks like tank treads impression in there a little bit in a weird way. So I like it. I think it works. Let's pull up Oh, excuse me. I'm a wee bit yawny. Oh, did I bring my soda in here? Let me go grab my soda real quick. And then we're going to look up camo patterns for my Panzer 4s/70s. I don't know if that's how it's properly pronounced or said. I don't know. The Panzer 470? That's probably how it's said, right?
Here's what I found.
Whoa! No, Siri, shut up. No, we don't need you. All right, let me go grab that real quick. Well, I am the feeder. Hello, everybody. I have popped back in here because I accidentally activated the other cat, my sweet baby boy, and I think he wants some food now, and so I'm going to feed him. So I will be back in like 10 minutes. I'll probably pop in while they're still eating and have to just like pop away to go check on them, but it should be fine. Oh yes, did you notice my my arch enemy hoodie? I got this in the last concert that I went to before COVID hit, and I absolutely like it. I'm knocking things over, but yeah, it's very cool. I enjoy the design quite a bit. But yeah, I'll be right back. I need to feed my cats. One moment. Woo. They are consuming. They nom 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 nom. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's been a busy week. I had a spa day yesterday, though. That was fun. I encourage people to take at least a little bit of time each month to themselves, treat themselves, or have a very lovely spouse who will treat them or treat you just very, very lovely and pay for your spa. It was quite nice. And my goodness, was it needed. Because if you paint a lot, you can get achy. I mean, you can get achy doing a lot of things, but like my wrist and my arm was super sore, and I was able to get a mega pop out of it in a way that I'm not able to do normally myself. And so it was so relieving. Like, my goodness. I just figured I'd pop in, say hello while I wait for them to snack a little bit. I do gotta go check on them to make sure that they are not trading food, because the boy has very specific food that he is... Yeah, that's prescribed that he must have. William, you are prepping minis for your spa day? Is that what... Oh, prepping minis is your spa day. Well, you know what? There you go. There you go. I'm not really sure that you quite know how a spa works. They generally involve massages and hot tubs. But you know what? I do like that is your relaxation. That is your day to yourself to do things, is taking care of your minis. That's awesome. I very much appreciate that. All right, be right back, guys. I'm just going to go check on the cats. I have brought the cat. He says goodbye. He does not want to be here. Aww. Yeah. He doesn't love me anymore. That's not actually true. Meow. I was kind of hoping he'd stay and hang out, but he's thinking about leaving. Goodbye. He has left me. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. I'll just cry. Not actually. I'm clearly killing time, you guys probably can tell. I don't think we're going to... I'm going to basically be calling things in about 10-ish so minutes, because it'll be 3 o'clock. And I have a couple other things that I need to take care of today. So while as much as I would like to continue working on my tiny little tanks and actually get some paint on them outside of the primer, I don't know if that's going to happen specifically right now. But that's okay. That is okay, because some of you I will see tomorrow during the spicy live stream, and we will probably not be painting tanks. Let's just be clear about that. I don't know what I'm specifically doing for that live stream, although I have slightly thought about just throwing on WWE 2K whatever and possibly just playing through GM mode a little bit. And sim the Rumble, exactly. Just because it will be doing that before the Rumble starts. And so I thought that might be a little fun thing to potentially do. So that might be what we end up doing tomorrow during the spicy live stream until it turns extra spicy. But yeah, I'm excited for it. Haven't fully decided yet though. Yeah, I've got a bunch of things planned. I have a couple of shorts to work on, or I guess reels to work on. Got some stuff to prep, so I think I'll have to call it at 3. But yeah, I just figured we'd chill until then. Hang out. Oh, I did. This is removable, by the way. One of the things that I did on my Jaeger Tiger was I wanted to be able to indicate if it had been like damaged or something, and so I made it so that the dude can be removed. I also prepped, and I haven't primed it yet, but I also prepped the other cap if I don't want to have the guy outside, like poking out the top. And I just left it unglued in for ease. I might still prime the edges just because like when you take it out, then you get this like awkward unprimed line around it, and that does look a bit strange. You know, actually, while I got this and we have a smidge more time, I did pull out some of my paints, and I was wondering if... Oh yeah, I think that's gonna match perfectly. I have Castellan green, which was the closest thing that I could find to like a dark olive drab, which is what my primer was, because it's a Tamiya primer. So they, of course, use very historical colors, and, you know, Citadel tends to not. But I was hoping I'd have something that was similar enough. Let's go ahead and use this as a delightful little test for the interior. You know what, Will, you're right. You're absolutely right. It completely does. Yes, oh, that's a good idea. I could definitely do that. I was already going to look into trying to make some of those cotton ball tufts, because I've never done that before for my war games or my historical models. But I think it'd be cool, and it sounds pretty simple, because yeah, it seems like it's just cotton balls. But I haven't actually done it yet, but that's a great idea for being able to just like stick a little cotton ball in there and make it be like, this has been destroyed or damaged or whatever. Alright, so let's see how good this color is to accuracy. It's a little bit lighter. Honestly, it'll be a great highlight color for just like a Sherman or something in the future. But it'll totally work for what I'm using it here for. This will also make it so that the guy will stick just slightly more when I put him in, because now there's a little bit of a coating of paint. It'll probably wear out over time, but I'm not super worried about that. The other reason I think I'm good... Oh, wow, I totally didn't prime that at all. And did not realize. Well, we will just hand prime. Again, it's not going to matter too much if it's not an exact match, because we're going to end up doing camo, and it'll just make it look a bit more natural, I think. I hope. That's my justification for it. This is a base color, right? Oh, thank goodness. It's like if it's a layer, it may not stick super well to these unpainted sections. But no, it's a base. It should be fine. Honestly, a really nice green. I do love me like an army olive drab. And yes, I know the Panzer is not like traditionally this green, but we will be adding, like I said, a camo to it, which will bring in the more actual color that it should be, which is I think a khaki. And then it'll also add in some browns. It's just I had a little bit of a mishap, and I didn't have any good khaki base coats like I thought I did, because it was really old. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll have to go to the beginning of the stream and watch the video on demand, because I gave a little story about the disaster that these tanks almost turned into. I'm also seeing that I just missed a lot of little crevices where there should be some color, but there is not, so we're just going to take care of that as we wrap things up today. I hope you guys have had a good time and that your weekends are exceptional. I know for some of you, I may not see you again until Tuesday. those of you that are coming to my Saturday live stream on my free page, I look forward to seeing you there. And to everybody that's watching the Rumble, hope you enjoy it. Hope it's fun for you. Not too terribly predictable. Maybe they'll surprise us with a cool return or something. Who knows? However, and then I hope you guys are excited for tomorrow's painting tutorial. It's going to be a good one, I think. And I pushed myself. I paint some faces, which I am not normally super confident with, but I'm actually very happy with how they turned out. So I'm hoping you guys also enjoy. Yeah, got some fun stuff coming up. Next week, we're actually going to have another painting tutorial, but this one's going to be a little bit different. It's actually my first sponsored video for the month, which I know is not super exciting for you guys necessarily, but I actually think it's a pretty cool sponsor. Only Games reached back out to me because they've touched base with me once before and have hooked me up with one of their monthly subscriptions that they do if you are ever wanting to get, like, say you don't have a 3D printer, or you just don't necessarily have time to use the 3D printer that you do have, because for all I know that could be the case, and you want to get a monthly small amount of miniatures to paint up and just have some fun with that you can potentially use in, say, one-page rules or various other game systems or just your D&D games, etc. They have this cool crate that they're sending out, and it comes with 3 miniatures in it. There's a couple different themes, and I've got one of them sent to me this past month, and I'm going to be painting up one of the models from it. It should be pretty cool. It actually reminds me a little bit of the model that I worked on for my Oathsworn game, which was the War Bear, although this time it's going to be a different animal man. But I'm very much looking forward to sharing that with you and hope you guys are excited for it. But for now, we've got tomorrow's Dark Elf painting tutorial, and I think you guys are going to really enjoy that one. It's true. Actually, so we've already painted some T-34s, and we actually did do them up in this color tone. Well, I didn't. Chaos Cultist did, because he was the one who painted them. But I really like the look that he did with them. It was quite cool, and it used this as the base color tone. Because, yes, they also did a nice olive drab color, didn't they? Okay, cool. I feel like that is looking pretty good. We have 3 minutes left. You know what? Let's go ahead and hand prime our little cap. Maybe put it on a... Do I not have a painting handle? Apparently I don't have a painting handle on me, so I'm not going to prime this because I don't want to get it all over me. However, I will deal with the stuff that I missed in here, because those coverings did make it so that I kind of couldn't get to certain places on this Panzer IV, but it's okay. It is okay. We'll just shove our brush up there and paint it anyways. Just like the Emperor intended. Man, it really did not want to take paint there for a second. That was weird. Oh no, Ivan, I'm so sorry that you're feeling ill. Well, I hope you feel better soon. And we will definitely see you next time. I actually am going to call the stream here in about 2 minutes or so. Just doing a little bit of touch up on my tanks so that hopefully next time I come to deal with them, I can actually start putting some of their camo on, because that'll be fun. Thought it'd be a fun little project to try to do, is put some camo on these tanks. And it's looking pretty good. We got a little bit of a miss spot under there. Ooh, yeah, we totally missed in there, didn't we? It's almost like it was being mostly covered by a flat panel of color. It's okay, we'll just shove some paint in there, dramatically, smear it around, and it'll be fine. Absolutely fine. And indeed, it is taken care of, and I don't see any horrible yellow plastic anymore. Good. We did better on the back on this side. That's great. And what about on the front? Does actually look like we did better, but we still missed a little bit underneath the turret. Shameful, really. Just absolutely shameful. Okay. What happened? Oh, I got. Did I get dirt texture in there? What is happening? Alright, I definitely need to order another one of these brushes. I have been abusing the crap out of this Tommy brush. No, it's not you. It's both of us. Like we've both been like using it so much. I want to get another one because I'm worried it's gonna wear out soon. You did paint half the Eldar with it, and they look spectacular. I will be sharing the Eldar very shortly, probably next week, on my Instagram. For those of you that are interested in seeing what Chaos Cultist has done with them. Oh, before we end it, actually, can you grab me your avatar? I don't think I've shared that yet. He finished the avatar of Kane, and I really like the way he did it up. It's in a like Bielton color scheme, and I think it looks so sharp. It's awesome. Also, has Kita finished? No, don't hold it sideways.
I don't know, I didn't look.
Here is the beautiful... Hold on, I saw it focus for a moment. Is it focusing now?
No.
I saw it do it for a second. Okay, well. Look at him. Look at him in all of his glory. Like, I love the level of detail you were able to pull out.
Show the armor. You're just showing.
Oh, I know. I was getting to it. Sorry, I was adjusting. There we go. Look at that. The flames. I love the thank you. I love the jewels in the flames. Fantastic. And then the thing that I really just am most impressed with, one, his eyes just look fantastic. But look at the clean green highlighting, please focus, in his chest. Like, it just looks so good. I love those gems. Gosh darn it, it's amazing. Even the base looks badass.
Thank you, Gavin.
Yeah, no, I just think it looks amazing. I think he just did an exceptional job. Definitely one of the top models that I think I've seen him paint in definitely the last year. So super proud of him, just very, very pleased. And with that lovely display of Kane in all of his glory, we're gonna go ahead and end today's episode. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. It was lovely to see you all. I will see, like I said, some of you tomorrow at my spicy live stream on my free page. You can find a link to that in my link tree if you are interested in it. And if not, then I hope you enjoy the Rumble or whatever else you might be doing this weekend. You get a lot of hobbying in, and I will see you guys on Tuesday for not only... Actually, I'll see you tomorrow in my latest painting tutorial. So nothing live, but you will get a new video from me tomorrow, which I think you will enjoy quite a lot. Part of my makeup today is themed to tomorrow's video. It is Dark Elf, so that gives you a little hint. But yeah, I really, 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 really enjoyed making that one. The painting process went super well, and I'm very, very pleased with how the minis turned out, so I do hope you guys like it. And until then, I will see you guys later. Bye, everybody. See you later.